Welcome back, vinyl community. Another finds video for you. Thrifty and not so thrifty. Sounds of the Poppy family bringing us in. The beautiful Susan Jacks on vocals. Grew up not too far away from me, just kind of on the other side of the river, not too many miles as the crow flies. Vancouver, BC, Canada band. Mixed race. Susan on vocals. Terry Jacks. Craig McCaw on sitar. Satwant Singh on tablas and percussion. Song called Beyond the Clouds. This is the copy that's playing right now. This is what you more typically see in this area where the band was from. But I actually found the alternative cover recently with Susan kind of in the foreground and the other guys there. Very unusual to see this here. Just kind of in average condition, but was glad to find it. London label. Sort of a dreamy sunshine pop, a little dash of psychedelia, a bit of country influences in there as well. The band actually reunited a few years ago, minus Terry Jacks. Him and Susan separated many years ago. Beyond the Clouds. In more recent years, Susan and Terry have both had some serious health challenges. I know Susan was in the hospital last year for many months. Terry had a very serious stroke as well. Wishing them both all the best. Got a bit of VCLT to share with you first. Got another package from my good friend DJ Trish. Now Trish, when this arrived, it was already ripped open, and it came in a plastic bag from Canada Post that says, "Dear customer, we sincerely regret that your mail item is damaged. It was found in this condition in the mail stream." So what I found inside was your note and the photo there. There's Trish. Check out DJ Trish if you haven't. She says you've got 2 CD mixes. Those are here. Spring Thing 2018. Nice. Always diverse track lists from Trish. And the other one we've got, Lost in the Groove. The artwork there. And it says a Smensel. Is that one of those smelly pencils, Trish? Because that was not in there. Oh, I did get the book, Charlie Brown comic book. Kids love those characters, so they'll appreciate that. But no Smensel, Trish. Somebody opened up the package and stole the smelly pencil. Oh, I can't believe it. I hope they enjoy it. They obviously didn't find what they were really looking for in there. Okay, some thrift finds. Things starting to turn up again. Went out just today. I'm going to try and flash through these pretty quick. Found a few singles in really nice shape today. Tony Joe White, Poke Salad Annie. Really nice condition on this, 1969. Don't know if that's original or not. If you don't know Tony Joe White, big influence on Creedence Clearwater Revival sound. And speaking of them, got the single of Jambalaya on the Bayou, the Hank Williams song, by the Blue Ridge Rangers, which was John Fogerty after the breakup of CCR. I actually found that LP in a thrift store in Arizona. Was flipping through the bins, almost flipped right past it. It was nice copies, still in shrink. Happy to have snagged that there. Found a jazz one, Kai Winding on Verve, 1962. More backed with Coming Home Baby. Haven't listened to any of these yet. These are literally just today. And one from Gene McDaniels, aka Eugene McDaniels. Spanish Lace, nice sleeve there. Don't know if that belongs with that or not. Spanish Laced, back with Somebody's Waiting. And a couple of LPs. Very nice condition copies of Joni Mitchell, Ladies of the Canyon. Breeze. And Court and Spark, also very nice condition. I got to check my copies that I already have and see if these are upgrades. Carole King Tapestry, beautiful condition on this one, almost mint. Kind of felt bad leaving that there. Have that one already as well. Also found Planksty, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Cold Blow and the Rainy Night. It's from 1974. It's only my second one by them, Polydor. Celtic, traditional kind of Celtic music. I have the one that followed after this. I found that last year, I think. That's the only other one I found. Don't see too much by them in my area. Which brings me to a Celtic, Irish, traditional music thrift haul I had. I know this kind of folk stuff doesn't kind of set anybody on fire in the vinyl community, but I was kind of intrigued to pick these up. I went to the thrift store in the afternoon, and the cashier said somebody had bought a bunch of them in the morning, so who knows what I missed. But these ones were still there when I arrived. The Chieftains. This is actually their debut from 1964. It's not an original pressing on the Claddagh Records label. This is actually a UK pressing, very nice shape. Just a bit of tape on the cover from unknown later pressing, but very nice shape. Anne Byrne Sings Irish. It's on the Hawk label. It's a nice label. And traditional music. It's from early 70s. That one's actually quite expensive on Discogs, so I was surprised when I looked it up. Sons of Erin, Treasures, Volume 3, on the Dominion label. I think this one's Canadian. The Boys of the Loch. That's a live one. Live at Passams, 1975. All these very nice shape, well cared for. Just finished spinning this one. It's kind of nondescript, but man, does this one swing. This is actually a kids bands taught by a teacher named Martin Mulvihill, who is from Ireland. These are all American kids in the Bronx, it looks like, Brooklyn, that kind of area, learning to play traditional Irish music. There they are there. If you just listened to this and didn't look at the sleeve, you would never know this was played by kids. These kids have some chops. I guess they went to Ireland and won some competitions. It's called the Martin Mulvihill School All-Ireland Champions, the Tara Cayley Band, and the Garai Ion 2 Cayley Band. Irish Music, The Living Tradition, Volume 2, all instrumental. But great stuff, just music to get you up and dancing. The Irish Tradition, The Times We've Had. This is from 1980s. This is on the several of these are on the Green Linnet label, which I've heard of before. I think I've heard a couple of the releases on there. So several of them were included in this haul. Quite a respected folk label out of New England, I believe. And this is just a sampler, traditional music and beyond. Various artists. Late 80s, I think, on this one. Again, the Green Linnet label. Seamus Connolly, Notes from My Mind, Fiddle, strictly instrumental. 1988, Green Linnet again. Eugene O'Donnell and James McCafferty, The Foggy Dew. Once again, Green Linnet, 1988, all instrumental. Very lovely, chill music. And last one, Altan, Horse with a Heart, 1989. Just music I've always respected, always checked out off and on. Summertime's here, the weather's warm, it's a little bit overcast today, but still pretty hot. This year I seem to be gravitating toward the folk music in the summer weather. Popped into my local antique mall down the road from me. I don't really check it too often. Records there tend to be pretty bad, kind of bad condition, pretty average titles and priced up beyond what they should be. But I had some time to kill, so I popped in there, flipped through the bins, and just about dropped my jaw. I found Buckingham Nicks. I've been looking for this for years. Never see this in my area for less than 45, 50 bucks. This is not original. It's a 1975 reissue. Canadian press on quality. Beautiful condition. It's got the Stevie Nicks name misspelled there without the E. Beautiful condition, just the slightest bit of cover wear. This is from before they joined the classic 70s lineup of Fleetwood Mac that released Rumours. You can definitely hear where that sound that propelled all those hit singles came from on this record. One more kind of folky one. This is one I picked up at Record Fair from a buddy of mine. I went to this record fair, the second record fair of the year. Kind of wasn't that great. I would have gone home empty-handed if it wasn't for finding some things from my friend who's a dealer. This is one I've seen posted around. I was kind of curious to check it out, and he happened to have a copy. It is Fraser and DeBolt. It's a Canadian release from 1971. Kind of eccentric, outsider folk rock. That's on the Columbia label. These two are Alan Fraser and Daisy DeBolt. Kind of met on the Ontario folk circuit, performing around, met each other through friends, I guess. The first words to each other were, "I like your voice." Soon they formed a duo and put out this debut album. This is not what you would expect, the typical kind of country folk harmonizing kind of record. She does not have the kind of voice you would expect. She's got this bluesy, raspy kind of wail. She would probably do well in a hard rock setting. She gets into these almost avant-garde kind of atonal shifts in tempo and just weird kind of tug-of-wars of tension between the two's voices. He's got kind of your more typical hippie cowboy drawl. But the two of them, all original songs here. Some of the songs have, this album has kind of grown in reputation over the years. Songs have been covered by many others, including, I think, John Oates from Hall & Oates did one of these songs. They kind of released one more album and split up. And Daisy DeBolt went on to do a lot of kind of avant-garde music, mixing rock, jazz, a bit of reggae, even polka music. But Alan Fraser has continued on the folk circuit, but they put out this one very intriguing LP together. And the actual highlight of this record is the final song's the only non-original. It's a cover of the Beatles' "Don't Let Me Down." And by that, it becomes clear that what you're hearing is these two singing to each other, going through their relationship, laying out their feelings and stuff, and just brings out the vulnerability, the insecurity of John Lennon's lyrics in that song, which I'd never really picked up on with the original. But just beautiful, emotional ending. Blew me away to hear them do that song. And it's just backed by them on acoustic guitar with a long violin intro from Ian Gunther. Very intriguing, outsider, almost avant-garde folk, I would say. Couple of reggae finds. Gonna try and keep this pretty short. This was an upgrade copy I found in a dollar bin at a record store. 20th Century Rebels with Revolution. This is a 5-song kind of EP, I guess you'd call it, short LP. They were a Canadian group out of Toronto, formed from former members of the Earth, Roots and Water group. Got Adrian Miller on lead vocals. Cool stuff. I had this already. This was an upgrade copy, or slight upgrade. Let's find that for $1. A couple of reggae finds from the Ballistic label out of the UK, which was an imprint of United Artists Records, formed to release reggae from Jamaica and the UK internationally. Ballistic Sure Shots. It's a various artists compilation. I'll try and give you a needle drop on here. This was put out in 1978, as I've said, on the Ballistic label. Always a mark of quality to my ears, anything that appears on the Ballistic label. We're going to hear Always Trying by the Psalms. Gunshot sound effects between the tracks illustrate the title. One of the main tracks on here is The Consciousness by the Jolly Brothers. Also got the LP of that. Also on the Ballistic label. 1978. Conscious Man title track, produced by Lee Perry at the Black Ark. Hope you've enjoyed, guys. Peace.